Yes? Am I audible? Okay. So one of you tell me, what is communication? Yes, what is communication? Anyone? What is communication? We had so much of discussions in the previous class. And I'm asking you, what is communication?
Ma'am, it's the process of exchanging or giving information, uh, thoughts, feelings, ideas through speech, writing, or behavior.
Yes, either orally or written in the writing format, anyways, in different ways, using different methods. Okay, that is communication. And what is communication process? Yes. What is communication process? There is a sender. A sender will encode a message and then using a medium or channel, send it to the receiver who decodes the message and after processing the information, send back appropriate reply using a medium or channel. Okay, that is communication process. And next, let us discuss about effective communication and ineffective communication. Okay, effective communication, ineffective communication. When can you say that something communicated is effective? Yes, effective communication. Yes. Effective communication. When can you understand that whatever you have communicated is effective? When do you feel so?
Ma'am, when it is understandable.
Yes, then you spoke something, you told something, and you feel that the other person who have listened to you have understood it in the same sense, same meaning. Correct? Then you say that your communication was effective. Right? Good. So, effective communication is about more than just exchanging information. It is not only simply speaking something. It's about understanding the emotion and intentions behind the information. As I said, somebody has told something. You should understand it in the same way what the other person has intended. What was the other person's intention of sharing it with you? And as well as being able to clearly convey a message, you need to also listen in a way that gains the full meaning of what's being said and make the other person feel heard and understood. You should also make the expressions or give him the reply that you understood it clearly. You should make him feel that whatever he has told you, you have understood it. Correct? Your emotions, your expression should be in such a way that it is clearly understood. So then only that communication becomes effective. What about ineffective communication? Ineffective communication is a disruption of failure in the process of communication. Okay? If the other person haven't listened, is not at all listening to you, he is the other person, the opposite person is not at all interested, then it becomes ineffective communication. Yeah. So the next topic is types of communication. Types of communication. Yes. So we can classify or say that communication can be classified on the basis of communication channels, based on communication channel and based on style and purpose. Based on communication channels, we can classify it as non-verbal communication and verbal communication. This we already discussed in the previous class, the verbal communication and non-verbal communication. But look at the chart again. This verbal communication means it is based on words, using the words. So it can be either orally or written. Okay, you can speak the words or you can write the words. And this oral communication, it can take place either face to face, or even you can talk with somebody who is very far using your mobile phone or any other technology available. You can have conversation with people who are at a distance. It is not necessary that the person should be near to you. The perfect example is us. Now, you're all at your home and I'm in one place, I'm talking to you. Yeah, so that is the communication taking place at a distance. Okay, now next one is based on style and purpose. That is formal and informal communication. Based on the style and purpose, we can say communication is of two types: formal communication, informal communication. Yes, again, coming to verbal communications. Verbal communication is the use of words to share information with other people. It includes both spoken and written communication. Yes. And see, you can see the pictures also. People are speaking with confidence, and you should also have the skill of listening. And for that to be effective, your body language plays a very important role. You should show some interest. Then it should be friendly. A friendly communication is expected. Nobody likes anyone being rude or shouting at somebody, getting angry. That is not preferred by any of us. So the communication always we like it to be in a friendly manner, right? Correct, no? Yes. So that is verbal communication and the skills you require for that. Speak with confidence. You should be confident. Sometimes you won't be knowing anything about that topic. Still give an expression that you know everything. That confidence. Okay? Speak with confidence. And the next thing is listening. The art of listening. Yes, you can relate it to yourself, right? You might have experienced it. Sometimes you will be looking at the speaker, you will be sitting as a very attentive, but your mind will be flying somewhere else. Yeah, that is art of listening. You should have that skill of listening. Then your body language. That is very important. When somebody is talking to you, or just imagine you are talking to someone, you're speaking very seriously to somebody, and the other person is like looking up on the roof, there, here, scratching his head. Then what would be your feeling? Will you feel like communicating again? No. That's what the body language. Your figure, the body, how the body answers the reply or how you listen to him. That is also important. And as you know, we are learning communication as part of employability skill. So this is the most important skill that you should develop, not only for this examination purpose, but for yourself to be successful in your career. Okay. Now, next one, non-verbal communication, as we discussed. It is the exchange of information through non-verbal platform with the help of last day. Alan was telling us it was facial expression communication, right? You can see the word with the help of eye contact, the facial expressions, gestures, posture, again, body language, and the distance between two individuals. See the facial expressions. And sometimes it is your touch, the shake hand you give, body movements and posture, eye contact, as I said earlier, gestures. So these all helps you in non-verbal communication. Sometime I tell you, after completing your work, give me a thumbs up. Correct? So I understand that your work is over. That is a non-verbal communication. Okay. Next, we are going to formal communication. The next topic is formal and informal communication. So what is formal communication? What is formal communication? Formal communication is the structured and official flow of information between people, employees, colleagues, and other people at various levels in the organization. The communication that takes place in the organization. It is very formal. You're not going to crack jokes and you don't find any time for gossiping there. It is formal communication. You speak completely about the organization, the works to be done, etc., etc. Okay, that is formal communication. It is a deliberate and controlled effort. You should be very careful when you speak. As it is formal communication, you shouldn't spread any false information. And it is a purposeful act. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. It is a serious matter. It should be a serious matter. And controlled effort. Okay, it is a deliberate and controlled effort that is effective when it is systematic and timely. So it should be systematic as well as timely. Some work is given to you. You should do it at the right time. If something you are asked to communicate something to the manager, you should do it then itself, not 2 days after or tomorrow, no tomorrow. So that is formal communication. Now this formal communication can also be written as well as oral. Yeah, the formal communication. You can expect this as true or false. Formal communication can be both written and oral, true or false. It is true. It is right. Yes, the formal communication can be either oral or in the written format. Daily works are handled through oral communication, while the policy matters require written communication. There are certain communication to be done in the written format also. Everything cannot be done orally. Okay. Now we have types of formal communication. This is not there in the textbook. Please take it down. Types of formal communication. Before moving to that, we should understand the concept that in a business or an organization, we can classify the organization into various levels. Yeah, various levels, the people working there, the officials working there. You can classify them into various levels. What could be that? Anyone? Levels. Levels of organization. You can classify it as lower level, middle level, and top level. Lower level, middle level, and top level. Okay. Now, this top level means it is the board of directors, chief executive. Okay. That is top level. At the top, the manager, the board of directors, chief executives. Now, coming to middle level. This comprises of the departmental heads. Departmental heads and managers. And then we have the lower level. There we have the supervisors, or you can say foremen, the workers, etc. Okay. So before moving to the types of formal information, it is important to know the levels of organization. At the top, we have the top level, that is board of directors, and chief executives. Middle level means it is the departmental heads, managers, department heads. And lower level, supervisors, foremen, workers, etc. Okay. Now let's move to types of formal communication. Types of formal communication. When communication moves in a downward motion and messages pass from the top management level to various subordinate level, it is known as downward communication. Okay, so the communication, the information is passed from the top to bottom. It is flowing downwards. Then it is called downward communication. So the board of directors want to inform something to the workers. So what happens? They will inform it to the middle level. From the middle level, the information is carried down to the lower level officers. So that is downward communication. So the next one is upward communication. Upward communication. Yes, communication, when it flows upward from the lower level, information is passed to the top level. This is called upward communication. So it is important for you to know what is this level. Every organization is having this structure. The organization is divided into three. Down at the bottom, we have the lower level, then the middle level, then the top level. Top level is the board of directors, middle level is the managers and department heads, and lower level is the supervisors, foremen, and workers. Coming back to upward communication. If suppose the lower level officers want to inform something to the board of directors, so what happens? The lower level will inform it to the middle level first. Then from the middle level, it goes upwards. So this is called upward communication. Okay. Now, horizontal communication. How is that now? Horizontal communication. Horizontal communication is if a manager in the middle level is communicating to the manager in the same level, horizontally. Okay, that is called horizontal communication. The same people in the same level. The manager in the middle level is communicating something to another manager. That is horizontal communication. Next, it is diagonal communication. And this horizontal communication is also called lateral communication. Please note it down. Horizontal communication is also called lateral communication. L-A-T-E-R-A-L, lateral communication. Okay. And the next one is diagonal communication. Here it says it is neither vertical nor horizontal. Instead, it is diagonal or zigzag. The communication is diagonal or zigzag. Here, the employees belonging to different departments may communicate with each other. So, coming to a business, talking about an organization, we'll be having several departments. There will be purchase department, then production department, then marketing department, or human resource department, likewise. So one department to another, that is called diagonal communication. So we have downward communication, upward communication, horizontal communication, and diagonal communication. The next is informal communication. Informal communication. So what is that now? It is the casual communication between co-workers in the workplace. It is not formal, it is the casual communication. You speak freely, anything and everything with others. That is informal communication. So that is the personal conversations with family or friends. I know it is not clear. The screen is not clear. And take down this point. The informal communication is also called grapevine. Grapevine. Why? Why is this informal communication called grapevine? Think and tell me, what is the speciality of this grapevine? Yes, please. Why is informal communication called grapevine? How is this grapevine plant? It spreads. It's like a creeper. So same way, the communication, something you tell, some gossip you say somebody, it will spread like, and don't know how it will reach the other person, in what form it will be communicated to the next person. Okay, so informal communication is also called grapevine. Yes, so that is formal communication and informal communication. Now, the next one is important. Fundamentals of effective communication. Fundamentals of effective communication. In order to be effective, how should be the communication done? Fundamentals of effective communication, and here you have 7 C's. 7 C's of communication. The first one is correct. C for correct. You should give only the correct information. Only if you know that you are correct, then only you will give that information or you spread that. The next one is courteous. What is that? Courteous. Communication should be in a respectful manner. You should be very polite. Don't say something as if you will slap him now. Be polite. Clear. Yes, the communication should be clear. The other person should understand it in the same way. It shouldn't lead to any kind of misunderstanding. Concise. Concise. That means it should be very brief. It should be brief. That is giving clear information in few words. I know some people, the matter will be very short, but they'll take hours and hours to say that. They'll start from the beginning, from the birth till the death, they'll say the story, entire story. And the matter will be just very short. So you shouldn't make other person boring, feel bored. The matter should be brief. Consideration. The next word is consideration. Concrete and complete. It should be clear. You should consider the feelings of other person. And it should be a complete information. So that is fundamentals of effective communication. You have 7 C's. Correct, courteous, clear, concise, consideration, concrete, and complete. Yes. Then next we have internal communication and external communication. What is internal communication? Communication taking place internally within the organization. That is called internal communication. And external communication is the interaction within the company as well as with outside environment, with others outside. That is external communication. So sometimes from the working in organization, you will have to communicate with somebody else outside, some other organization. You will have to communicate with them. That is external communication. Internal communication means the communication taking place within the organization. Okay, that is another kind of communication, type of communication, internal and external communication. Yes. So that's all about this chapter. The first part, that is communication. What is communication? Communication process and types of communication. Types of communication. Okay? Yes. I stop with this. I'll share this file now itself in the group. Thank you. See you on Tuesday.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Thank you.